Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tokyo Ghoul Read, chapter 146. I officially do not know what is going on anymore. I lost my train of thought while reading the chapter, which is very unusual for me. You know, I'm usually reading the chapter, I'm admiring everything, the writing, the artwork, you know, everything along the sorts, the usual stuff really. But in this chapter, I got lost to so many ideas and just theories and speculations and everything kind of cracking open. Like we were exploring, we were exploring a side of Tokyo Ghoul that Ishida has not shown us yet. That Ishida has been hiding away under the surface. You know, like you technically you can see it, but you just don't know. This is the brilliance of the story and the brilliance of this chapter, because as simplistic as my ideas were and theories and everything, we push in a whole different direction. We have gone completely out of the norm and something far more complex has arisen, and I'm still trying to comprehend it myself. Like, I've just literally read the chapter. The first portion of this chapter is basically focused on Kaneki's tyranny above ground, right? He's not necessarily attacking everything. He's kind of just walking around aimlessly, but it's just like we all thought the Japanese military have come into play, and I mean heavily. I'm actually really impressed with how quick the military responded. I understand he's like a Godzilla threat, but multiple tanks, multiple like Apache helicopters just firing and destroying Kaneki. Like they're literally pushing Kaneki to the limit. I don't want to necessarily say this is a good thing. Oh, you know, they're defeating Kaneki, he's gonna lose eventually. I'm like, I don't know if it's that simple anymore. He is a very massive being, and I don't know what his regeneration capabilities are, but if Kaneki is out of control, we don't know what, I guess, triggers, per se, this conglomerate Godzilla RC cell thing. If the military keep attacking it, is it possible that Kaneki, or Dragon, or whatever you really want to call it, will actually respond, and not to the kindness that we've actually seen in this chapter, because we see more of Kaneki running away. He's trying to defend himself, or at least hide, and, you know, he's not really attacking. But are we gonna see that? If the military pursue Kaneki to this extent, is Dragon gonna try and fight back? That is a cause for catastrophic events. Like, that is something massive, because if Kaneki starts fighting back, it's not really Kaneki, but Dragon, I should say, innocent people are gonna die. Innocent people have already died, but like the magnitude of it rises exponentially if Dragon starts slaughtering buildings, just diving through buildings, destroying the military, and then it becomes, like I said, a global threat, which I don't think we're at that stage yet, but I am still very impressed with the quality of the military and how effective they are right now against Kaneki. Now, we don't see a conclusion to that Dragon Kaneki versus the military stuff. However, we jump over to Furuta, he's well and truly alive, and we actually get the outcome of Hiriko and Yui, which is rather interesting. Now, for a long time, Yui has been very unconfirmed with where his allegiance actually lied, because he knew what Furuta was doing for the entirety of this time. However, he still helped Furuta. Now, we all looked into the direction of Furuta pressuring both Suzuya and Yui to resurrect someone from the dead, and that is definitely well the case. Heavily, mind you. This is more than just reviving people to this extent, because what Furuta offered Yui is that he would bring back Arima and Haru, which Haru we knew about because of the head, but we never knew about Arima, and I know straight away people aren't gonna like that. Like, nah, don't bring Arima back. You know, he's one of the strongest characters. You know, he doesn't need to come back. His effectiveness is gone, yada yada. You know, I am kind of split, because don't really want Arima to come back because he's already served his purpose, but at the same time, if he comes back, he's not going to be the same being. In hindsight, he's going to be something completely different, and whether Furuta uses him as a weapon or like another investigator, like, I don't know how Furuta would use Arima and Haru, because they're definitely not going to be the same people they were. A very interesting thing, however, is that Furuta starts talking about the possibilities of Kagenes and RC cells, and it trips your mind entirely, because you never really know, right? We've never really known any answers or any in-depth explanations surrounding RC cells and ghouls and Kagenes, but we are slowly going into that territory. At least Furuta is trying to explore that territory by resurrecting people. We find out about another fairy tale regarding the king of the 24th ward, which I believe is still the Naga Serpent, and Furuta says that this being has divided up and shared into the world his life force itself. I don't know what territory we're getting into right now. Furuta goes on to say, but was that just a fluke? I don't know, and he probably stole a lot more more lives than he shared. Where are we going? What is going on right now? Like, I'm still trying to process the chapter as I'm doing this video, so stick with me. Furuta seemed very different in this chapter. It's definitely unusual for him, if that makes sense. At least that's how he appeared to me. He didn't seem as structured as he usually is, as planned. But in hindsight, he didn't seem lost either. He actually seemed quite apologetic to Yui and saying that, you know, we tried to do this, but we didn't really get the answers we wanted. But it still worked in hindsight. I don't know. I got this really weird vibe from Furuta that we haven't really seen before, and I'm not really sure if any of you guys feel the same. But it turns out that Yui and Hiriko, as well as Yusa Arima, which is one of Kaneki's bodyguards, he's one of the children, sunlit children, I should say. Basically, Yui and Hiriko and Yusa Arima worked together to fight off that Kaneki that came through underground, which I guess kind of changes everything. They explain it rather well in saying that Yui was so close to killing Hiriko and Hiriko vice versa, but they just, I don't know, they had this respect for each other. They didn't want to do it, but if they had to, they would have. But then a bigger threat came along, basically, and they found themselves shoulder to shoulder fighting for their own lives, which I thought was rather interesting. I don't know where Ko was in this whole situation, killing the other children, I guess. I guess he vanished or just disappeared before Yui and Hiriko finished their actual fight, which I think is rather funny. Now they do mention that Yui and Hiriko and Yusa Arima are going to go up above and try and help or stop Kaneki, whatever you want to call it. I believe it's Yusa. Very hard to depicting on who's who at the moment, but I believe it is Yusa Arima that asked this, which, if you guys don't know, Yusa Arima is a sunlit child. He is from the Arima family, but he's not like a blood relative to Arima, if that makes sense. They're not brothers or anything like that. They're like distant cousins, I guess you could call it. I'm not really sure, but in some way they are related, but they're not like directly that close. Either way, they're from the same family. They somewhat supposedly hold the same potential, but the words that Yusa actually say are rather interesting. He says, "The world that Arima wished for, that's where we're headed, right? Aren't we?" I'm starting to question what Arima really wished for. This opens up a lot of different ideas, right? Like the Arima and like the purpose of what Arima really wanted. We might only scratch the surface of what Arima really wanted out of Kaneki and like the future of the One-Eyed King title and everything. The fact that Yusa says that, you know, we're heading to this world that Arima wished for. Did Arima wish for this destruction of the One-Eyed King title? Did he wish for the world to be joined together to destroy the king? There is a lot more to this. It doesn't really go with what Arima's original purpose was, but then again, his original purpose was kind of to push Kaneki to become a king and allow Kaneki to choose the future for himself, whether he destroys the One-Eyed King title, which he meant literally getting destroyed by the military and everyone else on this planet basically opposing him, or he could sit on the throne and keep the One-Eyed King title, which might actually be Kaneki's future that he was trying to do. I don't know if that is kind of the perspective that Ishida is going for, but I feel like there's a lot more to Arima's wishes and what he truly wanted from Kaneki and the One-Eyed King title and what it truly means for the future. I'm very excited. Last but not least, a very confusing last panel, a very interesting last panel. We have TOUKA. I believe it's TOUKA. It looks like her. It looks like the stuff she was wearing, so I'm pretty sure it's her, right? I don't know where she is. I think she's inside Kaneki at the moment, but I don't know if she's alive. Like, it's really weird, right? When you see the final panel, it's most likely going to be the thumbnail, right? But I don't know if she's alive or if she's stuck near Kaneki or if she's, I don't know. Like, they've got this little like mini bubble Kaneki, kind of like a clone thing, you know, the Kagane, whatever you want to call it, this mini clone ugly Kaneki right next to her, but I don't know where exactly she is in perpendicular to Kaneki, right? And in the panel, she looks messed up, like she's seen some unnatural stuff just happen in front of her eyes. So I don't know. I really cannot speak on that perception of that final panel. All I know is that we have opened up a lot of different directions for a lot of different people. After this video, I'm definitely going to go through and reread it. I'm most likely going to do a couple of videos later on, so look forward to that. But overall, this chapter, each week, man, each individual week, chapter after chapter after chapter, Ishida shows us that he continues to push forward in directions that we never expect. Yeah, sure, we get some things correct. You know, we get a couple of, you know, theories, little ones here and there correct. Yeah, all good, all good. But Ishida just changes. He flips the story. It's like he flips this way, and then he flips this way, and then he's like, nah, I'm gonna flip this way, flip back this way, and he twists everything, and it's phenomenal. This is why I love Ishida's work, is that you never can expect what's gonna happen next, and this chapter is just the top of the top. Like, just everything is slowly seeping to the surface, like the answers and questions that haven't been answered yet, and everything is kind of slowly bubbling up, and you can feel it when you're reading it. It's like, oh, we're getting close to some very, very big answers. So I am super excited to see where Ishida takes this story. I really am. But with that being said, thank you all for watching, but I'm actually going to end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.